This is my path, my journey. I'm willing to explain it all to you guys. No holding back anything. I just hope you're ready for the experience, and I just hope you can handle it.
Disclaimer. This video was intended for an adult audience only. Viewer discretion is advised. Anything you see in this video, do not attempt to recreate. This video was created for documentation purposes only. Our purpose is education. We are not justifying or glamorizing using substances. What we are doing is educating people on the substances that we have used and what it has done for us. Do not recreate or do not redo the substances we have done just because we talk about it.
What's going on, guys? So, this is my opinion, right? All just my personal opinion. You wanna know why humans can't evolve? Humans can't evolve and things aren't changing because the truth is already right in front of our fucking face. And we keep avoiding it. We keep thinking that there's something else. We keep thinking, oh, there's another way. No, there's no other way. Psychedelics have been here since the beginning of fucking time, and they're here for a reason. Because psychedelics will show you who you are, what you are, why you're here, why the world exists. Psychedelics can show you science, it can teach you science, and it also can spark the things in our mind to create science. So, in my personal opinion, I feel like psychedelics have impacted the world dramatically with technology. I think after after the 60s, the technological boom happened, and I think that's no coincidence that it happened similar right after the 60s. Computers, technology, all these things started advancing a lot faster after the 60s happened. And the same thing now, there's another technological boom, and there was also just another psychedelic boom that just happened in the world as well. So, I don't think these are coincidences. I think that we think that there's, I don't know, fucking religions, they keep saying, no, I'm right. There's many different religions, and everyone is avoiding the truth. And what I think the truth is these plants and substances, because they can actually be taken, they can actually be experienced, they can actually be felt. It's not something that you just read. I've never even read a book before, so I don't get my knowledge from books. I do get my knowledge from listening to people talk and their experiences and their life experiences, but I mainly get my knowledge from the plants. I mainly get my knowledge from these substances themselves. DMT is the main molecule that I used, and I used it hundreds of times, and I don't use it anymore. But it's I just feel like what I've learned from these things is that they're just like books. You can learn from them and take information, and it'll show you what is. And I think that it just boggles my mind because we already know what is. We already know what's going on. We already know what's going on with the world. Quantum physics and quantum mechanics is getting to an understanding about the next dimension. And there's other dimensions that exist, and reality is not what we think it really is. And this is being proven by science now. So I think that psychedelic, philosophers, people like, Dennis McKenna and Terence McKenna and people that have dived deep like that, I think that they have an understanding of science that science doesn't even understand yet. And same thing with, even just common people like you see on YouTube. It's like that, dive deep with DMT or ayahuasca or this, that, and the third. It's like there's an understanding of the universe that I feel like psychedelic users have that majority of people do not. And that's only if you take it seriously, because there's a lot of people, the issue, I feel like the reason why this knowledge isn't just plastered on, fucking billboards everywhere and shit, is because so many people doubt it, and they're skeptical. They're too damn skeptical. They're too damn judgmental. They judge what they don't understand as crazy, and that's the issue. They judge it before they can even hear it. They judge it before it's even presented to them, and it's I think that we have to learn to suspend our judgments. We have to learn to look at reality from a different point of view, because if we keep looking from our point of view, we're never going to understand anything. You think you know, which is why you don't know shit. So you just have to understand that you don't know, and that's what I do. I understand that I don't know a damn thing. All I know is I can continuously take in knowledge if I say I don't know. If I say I do know and I know, then what knowledge would there be for me to take in if I already knew? Which is why I keep the mindset that I do not know, because it allows me to keep intaking information. And I don't know, I think that We already have an understanding of what's going on in the world. The shamans understood thousands of years ago what the fucking world is. And it's like we have this understanding of the universe already. We already know what's going on. We just have to mix it all together. We have to mix the religions all together. We have to mix science with spirituality. We have to mix the scientist with the shaman. And they have to become best fucking friends. And then we will understand reality. It is not that complex. It is not that fucking hard. I think we're thinking about it too deeply. So many people say, oh, we'll never understand reality. And I think you're thinking about it too deeply. We already do understand reality. You just don't. I don't. But we do. We understand what the fuck is going on. And what's going on? Well, my understanding of just my point of view of what's going on is that there's, we're in this transition of dimensions, basically, where we right now are in the third dimension, but one day we'll probably be in the fourth or fifth or sixth or seventh or eighth dimension. And, and as the universe goes on, the universe is like a big machine that is like constantly creating things, and like the machine can create more machines, and those machines are alive and they can create things as well. And it's almost like that's why we have the third dimension, but inside of the third dimension there's all these different planets, and all these different planets are almost like different machines that also can create life like us. We are the life that the planet has created. And it's very complex, but at the same time, scientists are starting to get to understand some of this shit. They're starting to understand quantum physics, quantum mechanics, sacred geometry, I don't know. There's all this shit is almost explainable. There's a lot of things that people will not understand, and that's fine. When somebody's talking about their psychedelic experiences or the deepness about the psychedelic experience, you might be sitting there scratching your head like, what the fuck is this dude talking about? But I can play you a video right now of a quantum physicist talking about quantum mechanics, and you're going to be sitting there saying this. I don't understand what the fuck this dude is talking about. You're going to be doing the same thing, the same exact thing. Why is it that the scientist doesn't get looked at as crazy, though, but the psychedelic philosopher does? And it's because there's a bigger gap of a misunderstanding, because even there's a very, very, very small amount of percentage of people that understand the psychedelic knowledge and the shamanistic knowledge. And there's a lot more scientists. Science is a little more explainable because you could become a scientist. And it's not that you can't become a shaman. It's just that we live in a world and society that they demonize the shaman. They make the shaman look like the crazy guy, even though the shaman is really the most intelligent guy. Because to be intelligent, you have to be somewhat crazy. Like, it's just the way it goes. But I think that, we already know. Science already knows. We're getting there. Artificial intelligence is going to help us so much with understanding what the fuck is going on. And I guess it's going to help solidify a lot of the knowledge, because the issue is Terence McKenna and Dennis McKenna, these people, they were talking about this in the 70s and 80s. It's like, this knowledge isn't new. It's old as fuck now. The shamans were talking about this 50,000 years ago. This is old as fuck knowledge. But we think it's new because, it's new to us. Well, it's old to the shamans. It's old to the psychedelic philosophers. Of course, there's light beings in other dimensions. Of course, there's other... of course. It's common knowledge to the shaman. But it's out of this world, outer space knowledge to the common person. And I think that until technology gets bigger than it is, I don't think the majority of people are even ready to understand the psychedelic knowledge. This is the reason why there's a lot of psychedelic people, there's a lot of psychedelic, psychedelic YouTubers, that use psychedelics but don't believe that they're spiritual. They really don't believe in the experiences that they're having, mainly probably because their intention or whatever, but I think it's mainly because majority of humans aren't ready to evolve yet. They're not ready to let go of what they think they are. We're not as fragile as we think. We could be whatever we want to be. There's a lot of people that think that technology is horrible. Technology is a bad thing, right? It's not. It's not at all. Technology is just the evolution of humanity. It's just the evolution of reality. That's it. If Mother Nature didn't want technology to exist, it wouldn't exist. Simple as that. It wouldn't be. I mean, it seems like technology is going to be whether we want it to or not. So obviously, it's going to be alive regardless. It's going to be here, and I think that once technology is here, once artificial intelligence is here, once humans are a lot more evolved in the mind because we have to be, because we're in this technological world where we have to advance ourselves, and the artificial intelligence will help our babies and children learn a lot faster. So 5-year-olds will know the things that 10-year-olds know, and 10-year-olds will know the things that 20-year-olds know. And then this will be the technological world we live in, because that's what's going to happen when you live with AI. When you live with AI, your kids will evolve 20 times faster than you could have ever imagined. And I think that that might be what it takes for humans to even understand, the psychedelic knowledge. And my thing, the issue I have though with the world, it's like, I feel like we were supposed to have the psychedelic knowledge first. I feel like when the Western world separated from Mother Nature and we stopped taking psychedelics and all that, I think that's when, that's when we have an issue, and that's why technology can kind of take over our minds, and that's why people are scared of technology, because majority of people honestly are weak-minded. You get consumed by technology. It's like it's the same thing with drugs. It's like that's why so many people are addicted to drugs. It's because we have a society that is weak-minded, and we have a society that is designed to be weak-minded. That's why they give you alcohol, because if they would, instead of alcohol, if this whole time society has been giving us shrooms, if every bar turned into a mushroom bar, and alcohol no longer existed, and alcohol was illegal, and mushrooms were the things that were legal that people did at bars, then we would have a completely different world. Completely different. The drugs that the society uses really alters the way the society thinks and the ways in what society will believe. Which is why I think that we already have the truth here. It's just we have been taught to believe that that truth is a lie. We have been taught to believe that that truth is the devil. We've been taught to believe that God is the devil and the devil is God. We've been brainwashed in so many ways that we can't even see that the truth is already here in front of our face. You never have to believe anything I say. I don't want people to believe me. I really don't. I just speak my mind because this is what's on my mind, and this is what I believe. But that doesn't mean you have to believe it. All that means is anything I believe, obviously, like, I've come across personal experiences in my life that have made me believe what I believe. And I think that humans, just as a whole, we are going to evolve, whether we like it or not. And whether you like it or not, yes, right now, psychedelic people and spiritual people believe that there's other dimensions and light beings and this, that, and the third. Whether you like it or not, quantum physics and quantum mechanics soon will probably say the same thing. It might be 20, 30 years before they say it and get to it. But if they would have just listened to the psychedelic community the whole fucking time, then the world would have evolved a lot faster. But they want to work in a world where you have to have good science that proves this before you can move on to the next thing. You have to have the evidence and the good things and this, that, and the third. And that's why I like psychedelic knowledge and shamans. It's like we're dabbling with magic. And a lot of people don't believe in magic. But let me tell you something. The fact that you're a conscious being that is sitting here, that can watch any video, that can think, that can talk, that can breathe, when really, in your mind, science says that you're just electrical signals firing back and forth in your brain, and that's it, and that's what science defines you as, is electrical signals that are firing back and forth. No. You're much more deeper than that. And on top of that, even if so, that's fucking magic alone. That's magic. It's magical that we are even alive. But yeah, I think that humanity understands. I think as a whole, it's gonna take science. Like, we're gonna evolve as a whole when technology starts to come into our lives more. And it's the same thing that would happen if psychedelics came into our lives more. We would evolve as a whole. I think technology is gonna have a similar step in our mind in the evolutionary process, but I think it's 50-50. I think for humans to completely understand what's going on, I think that we're going to need the deep psychedelic knowledge with the deep quantum physics knowledge and quantum mechanics and science and whatever other science is created and other technology like the blockchain, technology like AI, technology like all these other things that literally will force humans to evolve and force humans into an understanding. Because right now people don't believe that there's other dimensions, as a whole. Some people do, but as a whole we don't. But when science comes out and says, yeah, there's other dimensions, and then you start learning about it in school, you're going to be the old grandfather that is talking to your grandkids about how when I was in school, we were taught that there was only one dimension, and that we were only one dimension. We were in the third dimension, and that's it. And we had the idea of other dimensions, but we didn't know if it was real. And then your grandkids are going to be like, well, we just learned that, there's, the eighth dimension, and that we are really fifth dimensional beings that are perceiving the third dimension, and we experience all these other feelings and stuff because the feelings could be part of other dimensions that we feel. And it's like, there's a part of understanding about reality that will come into light. Synchronicity will happen. Things will start to align and emerge, whether we agree or not. That's why I don't care if people believe what I say or not. I don't give a damn, because you might not. I mean, they didn't believe Nikola Tesla either. They didn't believe Einstein. They didn't believe anybody. If any of them gave a fuck, we wouldn't have the world we live in. So all I really want to convey is, if you're somebody who's on a spiritual path that feels like you know something, one, question yourself if you really think you know it or whatever. Just question yourself. But at the same time, if you feel like you've come to a conclusion and you're like, this is my truth, it might not work for you, but it's my truth, then speak your truth. Don't be scared to scream your truth to the heavens. Don't give a fuck. Who cares what people think about you? Because the reason why I feel like the world is not at an understanding of the universe and reality is because we care too much what people think about us. So when somebody feels like they know something, they don't even want to say it because other people are going to judge them, and it's like, fuck that. Speak your mind and love it. And don't feel bad about speaking your mind either. But thank you guys so much for watching. If you want to subscribe, I'd really appreciate that. You don't have to though, no pressure. But thank you guys, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out.